This is the Russian Dynamite, Masha Slamovich.
Becca here.
This is not America's Sweetheart, Davian. And
It's Billy Starks. And
the super fly guy, Trayvon Jordan.
This is the fly side flyer, Jalen Brandon.
Hardcore Princess, Jules Malone.
Hi there, this is the Bubblegum Princess, Alexia Nicole.
This is the Brazilian Wonder Woman, Christy Jane.
This is the baddest black belt, Chennai Kai.
This is Kid Bandit.
The smash hit Joel Bateman.
This is Robin Renegade.
Cody Hawk.
Brutal Bob Evans. And you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
Hi, this is Jade Blackwell, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hello, and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today, the trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox. Sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I'm, of course, your host, James J., and it is a great day for wrestling because we are wrestling with Jade Blackwell.
Hello.
How are you?
I am... Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. I cut you off.
No, you're good. I'm Jade Blackwell. I wrestle in the Midwest most of the time. I wrestle for Zawa Live. Some upcoming dates I have. The 16th, I'm in Thompson, Illinois for Homegrown Wrestling. And at the end of the month, on the 22nd, I'm in Milwaukee for Fourth Wall. You can find me on any social media platforms. I have a Facebook, an Instagram, and a Twitter. Jade Blackwell 03 on most of them, if you want to give me a follow or a like or anything like that.
And do we got merchandise?
It's still a work in progress. I had some when I first started out, but I would like to get some updated going, so I don't have any current stuff.
Okay. And, of course, you don't have to go looking for it. All of the links to all her social media will be in the description of the video below, both on YouTube and Castbox. Alright, now, you mentioned it. You work for, Zoa. Can you tell us about your relationship with the company?
So, Zawa Live, is a place in Rock Falls, Illinois. We are currently working in Nelson, Illinois, which is only 15 minutes away. I started training there in September of 2020. No. I started training in May of 2023. I debuted in September of 2023. Before Zawa, there was a company around here named Funky Monkey, so I grew up watching that indie show. I became close with so many of the wrestlers there. And then Zawa took over, and when I debuted, I actually got to tag team with someone I grew up watching as a kid, Judd The Janitor. So my first match was very, very sentimental. 11-year-old me used to make signs for him, and I had a shirt for him, so it was really, really amazing to be able to share that debut experience with him. We talked about this since I was like 16, so to be 19 and debuting and being able to wrestle with him was such an amazing, amazing experience.
Is that kind of like a full circle moment? Teaming with, a childhood, favorite?
Oh yeah, I've had so many full circle moments. Like, so many of the guys that I watched as a kid, I text on a weekly basis, or I'm going to shows or working for some of them. My friend Cole Havens is one of the people that runs Homegrown, so I get to work for him a few times, and I've worked with him a few times, so I've been lucky enough to have that full circle moment a lot in my career, and it's crazy to think back on. I have actually photos on my wall of like 11-year-old me with so many of these people, and I've wrestled them or worked beside them, traveled with them, so it's just an amazing experience to be able to work with so many of these amazing men and women.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but you are the first female graduate of Zawa.
I am. So, I Yeah, so I was the first female, and I was one of the first women to hold the Zawa Empress title. So with training, I felt like I had to prove myself a little bit more than maybe some of the other guys had to, just because being a woman in this business is a lot harder. It may seem like cliche to say that, but to earn respect from some of these guys was really hard, and that's what I wanted. I didn't want easy way out. I wanted to be treated just like any of the other guys. So to even be able to say that I was the first woman to graduate from Zawa just feels great, because it's such a great place to work and everybody is just so great. It's just a great place to be a part of.
Is there added pressure because you are the first to come out of Zawa?
Yeah, like I said, I just felt that I wanted to prove myself. Like, I didn't want any tasks to be easy. I didn't want them to take it easy on training. So I stepped it up as much as I could to prove that I wanted to be there. Um, but I had an amazing trainer, and so he really pushed me too. He wanted the best out of me, so he definitely didn't take it easy on me either. So, which I appreciate. I loved the tough love, because that honestly made me the wrestler I am today. So,
Well, like you mentioned, you've been wrestling since September of 2022.
yes.
So 2023 was your first full year of wrestling. Um,
Yeah.
so how do you measure it from September to September, or are you measuring it from January to next January?
I definitely do September to September, just because it's like that full year. Um, but I definitely see so many differences from the first match I ever wrestled till now, which is good. You should always be improving. Um, there's still nerves, and you'll hear a lot of them talk about it. I can be fine all day, but right before I step through that curtain is when all like the anxiety hits. But as soon as I hit the curtain, everything like completely goes away. But I still have that pre-match anxiety, but I look a lot more comfortable in the ring, and I feel more comfortable, which is ultimately the goal. You should improve each match, even if it doesn't feel like that. I can watch matches from like last year and be like, okay, this is what I could have done different, but I'm doing this differently in each match. So it's always good to go back and study that stuff to see your growth, because you really will.
And not to mention, you've had quite a few tag team partners since your debut.
Yeah, so I've mostly worked with Judd, um, and then I've worked alongside Bayou Bill one time for a fair show, but off the top of my head, I think I usually work with Judd. I think he's had a few tag team partner changes since me, and that's a problem.
Okay.
Choosing other people and before me.
Alright. Now, mentioning, you coming out of the curtain, that scream when you come out of the curtain, but where did that come from?
I definitely took that from Paige. There's a lot of stuff that my finisher. I do the page turner for my finisher, so a lot of my inspiration has come from Paige, just because I always liked her aesthetic and just like the person she is. Her and like AJ Lee were huge inspirations for me, just because when they were wrestling, they were a lot different. They were okay being the nerdy or like the emo or the goth, where they weren't like blonde hair, pink gear, and stuff like that. So I really drew towards them just because they were the outsiders and they were perfectly content with that.
Definitely. Like, when I was, doing the research for this interview, like, put on a match, getting my, notes to write things down, and then just the scream, I just jumped. Now you did mention this. you are the first ever Zawa Empress Women's Champion. What did that mean to you?
So I won that in November, and of last year, and it was just, uh, it was such like a surreal moment. That was the first belt I ever won. So many of my family and friends were at that show, and at the end, Judd even came in and raised my hand and stuff like that, and he gave me a hug. And I'm a very emotional person, so I was crying. Just like November's a really hard month for me. I lost my grandma, and my grandma was huge into wrestling. She's the reason I started going to like the Funky Monkey shows so often. So like to win that, to be like I did it. All of my friends greeted me in the back, and they like hugged me, and like it was just real great. I had so much support, and it was just the best feeling because your first title. I mean, every title win's amazing, but your first title win is something really, really special. And to be surrounded by so many people that love you and fans that were cheering and just as excited for you as like your friends and family, it was really, really great.
Especially, when that title comes from, your home promotion. It must be, validating that, the place that trained you, giving you that stamp of approval. No?
Oh yeah, that was a great feeling too. Yeah, like I said, so much support from the Zawa and everything like that. So it felt great that I was like the first woman to graduate from there, and then I was the first woman to win their updated women's title. It was a great feeling, for sure.
And I believe the match you won the championship in was the tournament finals against Blair Onyx. No?
Yeah, there was a tournament. I wrestled Celine Gray first. I beat her, and then in the finale was me and Blair.
I mean, Blair is obviously, another respected name on the independents. What was it like to, compete against her and then, obviously get the W on her as well?
She is one of the women I do like to work with. This was only maybe a couple matches in. I actually wrestled her on Dreamwave for my third match. She is very, very good at helping plan stuff because I was still very, very green the few times I wrestled her. But she communicated so well during the match with me, took her time with me. So I feel like we put on great matches every time. I would like to wrestle her again now that I've had a little bit more experience, but she was always so great and helped make sure I stayed kind of relaxed during matches because in the beginning I was very like, go, 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 so it's always good to have a opponent who is good at keeping you safe and keeping you calm during matches, especially when you're first starting out. So a lot of respect for her.
Now, is there any respect here? Can you tell us about your rivalry with Leslie Michelle?
Yes. Fourth wall, well, she did also take, in Zawa, she took the Empress title from me. So there is a lot of rivalry between the two companies. There is a lot of respect there because we have to wrestle each other month after month and keep everything like fresh and professional and stuff like that. So I think me and her work together too, even if we don't seem to like each other with the back and forths and stuff like that, especially fourth wall. She's won a match, I've won a match. We fought to a double count out, and the last show we had a double pin, so hopefully this month we can finally take care of business and one of us can rightfully win the title.
Now, going back and forward with, a rival, is it okay? I'm gaining experience fighting uh, the same person over and over again, or is it more like, okay, I've wrestled her, give me somebody new?
So I feel like it's a mixture of both. I do like to try and work with as many people as possible, but it is very comforting kind of to wrestle someone and kind of know each other's move set, but it's also nice because there's some things in a match that she couldn't get to, so we add that to a new one, and plus like we can build the story together. Like I said, we've had months and months on this rivalry going on, so it's kind of nice to finally have that good payoff at the end, so we have all that emotion and we can tell a story. So it's great to have both. It's great to work with as many people as possible. It's great to work with different people, but it's also great to be able to work with someone and be able to tell a story match after match with that ongoing history.
You know, another name that you've been in the ring with is Bombshell Shelly Benson. Obviously, a respected name in the independents again. You've had quite a few matches with Shelly. Can you tell us about your experiences wrestling her?
Oh, she is another great person. I love working with her too. She is one of the few female talent I can talk to outside of shows. We have contact with each other. It's very comforting to have other females because my boyfriend also wrestles and a bunch of my friends do. So it's great to be able to reach out to a female that can understand the frustrations of being a woman wrestler, because there is a lot of stuff we have to deal with that the men don't really understand. But every time I've wrestled her, we've been able to put great matches together. She's always been so sweet. She took me under her wing right away, even though she's a couple months ahead of me, but she's so great. Watching her on Dreamwave, we cheer each other on and stuff like that, because there are been moments that we've talked to each other about maybe this isn't for us, but we both push each other. I think she's done so great. Like, she's wrestling for Dreamwave, and that is amazing. She puts in so much hard work, and it's great to see her get that comeuppance, I guess is the word I'm looking for, because she's one that truly deserves it. She has such great energy and is just all around a very great person. So I love getting to work with her. I've worked with her at Zawa, Fusion, Fourth Wall. So any opportunity I get to work with Shelly is great. She's a great opponent and just a great overall person.
Alright. Now, can you tell us the advantages of and disadvantages of being in the same profession as your significant other?
So the advantage, so my boyfriend is Damien Deschain, and he's part of the Those Damn Coyotes faction, TDC, and he works right under like Christian Rose, Connor Hopkins, Brooks Berna. So being with him, the advantage of is having those people as friends too. So I've traveled with Christian Rose. He's gotten me a few bookings. I go to him for advice. I'll send him and Connor Hopkins my matches, and they give me such great advice. Here's what you could work on. Here's what you're improving on. And then, like, Berna and Damien are, like, the people that hype me up and give me that emotional support. So I have the advantage of having people with experience that are willing to help me out. And as far as disadvantages, I don't really think there are. Me and him work pretty separate. Like, we work Zawa together. We've worked on Fourth Wall shows together, but we're pretty separate. Our wrestling characters are very separate, so we don't ever have that intertwining stuff. So our careers never really clash. So I can't think really of a disadvantage of also being in wrestling. If anything, it's such an advantage because I can get advice from him too. He's been in the same spot I've been in, so it's just really great to have a partner that understands traveling every weekend and vice versa.
Alright. And I believe that brings us to our next segment, Jade's Bizarre Adventure. You're a pro wrestler that goes up and down the roads, and weird, crazy, and bizarre things are bound to happen. Can you tell us a road story that fits that description?
Ooh. I don't really think I've had any, and it's crazy since like I travel to Wisconsin almost every month. I don't think I've really had any like bizarre experiences. I've definitely had like just fun road trips because, like I said, I travel with some other wrestlers sometimes. But off the top of my head, I don't think I've had any crazy or that weird travel stuff yet.
You're traveling to Wisconsin and nothing crazy is happening?
It sounds crazy, but no, like I've never run into any issues. It's usually me by myself in Wisconsin, so like nothing. It sounds crazy, but I really haven't had any of those cool experiences that you hear from any other people. Well, now I gotta make it happen. Now I feel like I have to. Something has to happen now.
Well, when you do, we'll have you back on and we'll talk about it. That being said, can you tell us about your love of Resident Evil?
Oh, so I grew up with like a Wii system, and the only game that I would play front to back is Resident Evil 4. I've played that game so many times on the Wii. And then each time I'd beat it, I'd try to have like a challenge where I would try to, because after you beat the game the first time, you get like a infinite rocket launcher you can buy from the merchant.
Right.
So it comes in handy with all the bosses. So one playthrough I'll be like, I have the rocket launcher, but I'm going to try and use all my other weapons before, or I just try to make challenges or beat my time since I know the game so well. Because like I said, Resident Evil is the only game that I've played probably over 20 times front and back.
Is it just part 4, or have you gone back to play 1, 2, 3, and obviously the newer ones?
So mostly the fourth one. I did try and play, I think, the Biohazard one. My brother has all of the Resident Evil games on his Xbox, but I think I get a little frustrated when it comes to like puzzles and stuff like that. So I think Resident Evil is just fun for me because I know I can beat it without getting stuck on stuff. So I have a hard time playing the newer stuff just since I'm so used to that Resident Evil 4.
Okay. I believe it's time for the colossal question. Let's say that they're making a movie about you. A big, movie blockbuster, big producers, the whole 9 yards for setting it up. Every movie has a soundtrack. What would be the first 3 songs on your movie soundtrack?
Oh man. That's a really good question. See, I most of my music is mix up of divorced dad rock. So I listen to like Nickelback and stuff like that. Ghost has been added, but I can't think of like I gotta throw Nickelback in there somewhere because I've grown up on Nickelback.
And Jade has officially turned heel.
Oh man, I can already see the comments now. Nickelback, really? Nickelback? I will defend Nickelback. Avenged Sevenfold's another good one too. I am not prepared for this question. I'm just gonna keep saying bands because I can't think of specific songs.
That works. We can copy and paste the albums.
Yeah, there we go. Just...
You still need one more, though.
Oh. So Avenged Sevenfold, Nickelback, and just because I feel like my boyfriend would be very, very upset with me, Ghost. He's gotten me into Ghost, so they have some pretty good music that would be interesting to throw in there.
Okay. Do you lock it in?
Yes. So something from Nickelback, something from Avenged Sevenfold, and definitely something from Ghost, just to add a little pizzazz in there.
Alright. now that we have the soundtrack down, everybody knows you get the soundtrack first, then you write the script, and then you go to casting. Who plays Jade? And you can't say yourself because you are legally obligated to make a Stanley-esque cameo.
I knew this is where this was going, and I would like Joey King just because I feel like she would be able to portray me so well, just because she's like bubbly and stuff like that. And then my other one, probably just because I don't know her name. I'm very bad at famous people names, but she played Paige in the movie they made about her. That would just be ironic since as someone said during a wrestling match, I was wrestling someone and they called me the Wish version of Paige, and I couldn't even be mad. So, you know, I was like, oh, God, I can't laugh, but that's a good one. I can't even argue with you.
I believe the actress's name is Florence Pugh.
Yes. So her or Joey King, like I said, I think it would just be ironic if she had played me since she played Jade in Paige with Fighting With My Family. I just think that would be hilarious.
You know, since she's done that movie, like a lot of wrestlers have said, "Hey, I want her to be the person that plays me." So she's getting a lot of work just from that one movie.
Well, I mean, it was a great movie. I remember seeing it in theaters. So,
hell yeah. I mean, it's the wrestling family is very inviting. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
Alright, now that we have Jade casted, every movie has a supporting cast. Who would be three people significant to you in your story, and who would play them?
Who? So, I'll just pick wrestling people, people that I feel like would have to be in the movie because they've helped make me. So I'm gonna get Damien out of the way. He has to be in the movie because him and Bailey, which Bailey Bright was my trainer, are the reason I'm here. They pushed me to training. And just because Damien is such a huge Spider-Man nerd, and he thinks he's Andrew Garfield, I'd have to let him be Andrew Garfield.
Okay.
Now Bailey. Bailey would have to be another one. He was my trainer, but also pushed me to be here. Who would be Bailey? Oh, he's gonna be mad at me. I gotta think. And then Judd would also have to be in the movie. I would just have to think of who would play him too. Wait, I think, again, bad with names, but just for funny wise, because I think the dad that was in Fighting With My Family, the guy that plays the dad would be good for him just because Judd is a character, and that guy, any movie he's in, he's always funny and stuff like that, and just the comedic character. So I'd have to say him. Don't know his name because I'm terrible at this.
Stop. Nick Frost.
Yes. Bailey. Okay. Now I'm caught on Bailey. Oh no.
We could come back to it if you need time to think.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to have time to think. I feel like he's gonna be like, this was the obvious answer, and I'm gonna be like, I don't even know who that is.
You picked Nickelback. You couldn't name who I was. How did I train?
You gave Nickelback right away, but you couldn't pinpoint me as a person.
I trained you all wrong.
I can only think of. Oh, you know what? I think he would be happy with this. I know he's not really an actor, but if I could get Kevin Owens to play Bailey, I feel like he'd give it to me because Bailey took so much from Kevin Owens. He idolizes Kevin Owens. So hopefully that answer gets me brownie points and he doesn't lock me out of his house next time I try to go hang out with him.
Okay. There we go. We shall see. Either way, it sounds like an incredible movie, and you could pre-order the tickets now. Alright, onto a controversial subject.
Oh no.
Pineapple on pizza. What's your stance?
I personally like pineapple on pizza, and I have a lot of terrible food takes. That is one thing I'm known for. I am a total gremlin online when it comes to my friends, but pineapple on pizza is really not that bad. I don't understand people that want to put like anchovies on pizza. I feel like that's even worse. Pineapple's great with some ham, get that good Hawaiian pizza. I think I've had it on like a sweet chili pizza where it's like pineapple, a sweet chili sauce, some green chilies, and it was really, really good. So I think people are just dramatic.
What are some other weird food combinations you're coming up with? Because you did mention that.
So this one I feel is not that controversial, but I was on my Christian Rose and Damien's podcast, and I had brought it up about that we were watching a review of a movie on Netflix, and the kid had spaghetti, and I was like, that spaghetti's plain, get a little ranch and Parmesan cheese on it. And one of our friends we had there was like, excuse me? I'm like, yeah, so many people put ranch on their spaghetti, and I'm sick and tired of people making it seem as disgusting. There's so many people that do that. It's not even that bad.
I know people like put like ranch on like pizza, but I don't remember hearing that concept before.
I feel like it's not as uncommon. I just feel like I'm stuck in a matrix because I swear it's not that uncommon, but anybody I go to is like, excuse me? But yeah, it's just like marinara sauce and noodles, put some spaghetti. So like that one, and then I've gotten some crap from friend ZK47. We fight food takes all the time. At one point, I had a chocolate chip cookie dipped in nacho cheese, and it was just because it was on my plate, like my food touched, and that wasn't that bad. And then the other thing that I've done that he will not let go is I've put pepperoni on Oreos because I saw it on Facebook, and that's not bad either. It's just like a spicy Oreo.
Well, I mean,
this isn't stuff I do commonly, though. Like the Oreo and chocolate chip cookie was a one-time thing. The ranch and spaghetti is something I do every time I have spaghetti, though.
Well, I mean, nacho cheese in a chocolate chip cookie, that just seems like a match made in heaven, if you ask me.
See, this is what I'm trying to tell people, but they don't believe me.
There's two things that will make anything better, and that's bacon and that's cheese.
Yeah.
Alright. What's your spirit Pokemon?
My spirit Pokemon?
Yes.
So I've just, not the nickname I've got. A coworker at work calls me Pikachu. I don't know where it came from, but I feel like my spirit animal is Jigglypuff. She's always just been my favorite, just because she's not as common as like any of the other ones, and she's like a female Pokemon. I'm not also that huge into Pokemon, so I know like the 4 common ones, and that's it.
Okay. Now, we love the late great Tracy Smothers on the show. Do you know the acronym for Doug? THUG.
No.
T is for terrible, H is for hell, U is for ugly, and G is for jail, 'cause a Doug can't spell.
Oh.
Yes, we love the late great Tracy Smothers trying to keep the memory alive.
Okay.
Weirdest question you'll be asked on a wrestling interview, hopefully. Would you ever consider wrestling a rock? Not Dwayne Johnson, not the country, an actual physical rock.
Like, see, the funny answer would be yes, but like, I can just imagine trying to elbow drop a rock, and I feel like I'd hit it right on right on the funny bone. I would. I think it would be funny. I'd somehow lose to The Rock, but yeah, I would.
Well, just for context, there's this wrestler named Psycho Mike that wrestled an actual Rock for over 15 minutes in a Tungsten Man match. That's an Iron Man match that lasts for 2 weeks.
Oh, did he win?
No, he didn't.
Ah, see?
Yeah. It was tied 319 to 319. But The Rock was the champion, so he automatically won the match because he retained the title because he was the champion.
Oh.
Yeah. So technically a loss. Alright. On a more serious note, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
So, I've kind of been back and forth in wrestling. I feel like, let's see, I've only hit it 1 year. I would like to be wrestling in 5 years. It just depends on where I'm at in my personal life, plus if my body allows that. I know I'm thinking just 1 year at a time. I know next year I want to travel as much as possible. I would like to wrestle in Nebraska at some point. So even if I'm not wrestling, I see myself being a part of locker rooms, being where I need to, like, if companies need help, I always want to be a part of it just because I've met so many great people and have had so many great experiences. I don't think I'm ever going to want to leave. And if it comes to the point where my body won't allow, I still want to be around all these great people because I have so many great stories, and I can't imagine being away from this business now that I've been a part of it.
And that includes having a bizarre adventure in Wisconsin.
Yes, yep, gotta make it happen.
And what is a match people should go out of their way to see that best shows off what you are all about?
So, let's see. So, I do like the last match I was just in. I was in a 6-man ladder match at Zawa for the Fireweight Championship. That was a great match. I wrestled 5 other male opponents, and I got some cool spots in there. And just being able to be part of a match that's not just like pinfall or something like that. So, it was great to have a different type of match under my belt. So, it's either that one or I gotta say my first one, just because the sentimental, I still, anytime I go back to that, I still get teary-eyed at the end of it just because there's so much emotion between me and Judd, because this is something we've always talked about. So to and capture who, like, Jade Blackwell is, like, my friends and family are always a huge part. So to be able to be in a ring with one of my best friends, that just shows who I am. Like, behind all the darker makeup and the dyed hair and stuff like that, I'm just a very emotional person. So that match is still going to be at one of my tops just because of how much emotion was in it. And it was just, I couldn't have asked for a better first match.
Can we find these matches on YouTube?
I don't believe so. Some of Zawa's stuff is on YouTube, but we're normally on the IWTV app. That's where you can probably find all of my matches between Zawa and Dreamwave. Fourth Wall stuff might be on YouTube, but as far as my first match, I don't think it is on YouTube.
Is there anything we can find on YouTube?
I know, like I said, I know there's a few of the Zawa shows on YouTube. I don't remember all the ones off the top of my head. I think the Yogi Bear show I was a part of in the summer, where it was me and Judd versus the Bearded Bros, is on YouTube. You just look out Zawa Live, and there's, even if they're matches that aren't me, there's some great matches that we have on YouTube at Zawa.
Well, if the match you mentioned against the Bearded Brothers is on YouTube, I will grab the link to that show and I will put it in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox for anybody that hasn't seen it, wants to see it, wants to re-see it after this interview. And obviously go check out the two matches she mentioned on IWTV as well. And since we are nearing the conclusion of this interview, we are wrestling with the 8 questions of doom. This is our speed round or bonus round, the round where we see who you really are. Are you ready?
Oh boy. Yeah. Yes.
Excluding yourself, greatest wrestler of all time.
Paige.
Worst wrestler.
Nia Jax.
You're main eventing WrestleMania for the World Championship. Who is your opponent?
I don't want to say Paige again, so I would like to wrestle Becky Lynch.
Okay. Finish the sentence. Kayfabe is...
Kayfabe is important. Some vets take that stuff very seriously still.
We would have also accepted taste great on toast. If you could come out to anyone's entrance music, past or present, who would it be?
Kane's old one, just because it's an inside joke. What, Slow Chemical? Yeah. Yes.
Oh yeah, great song. Squash, vegetable or fruit?
Vegetable.
It is indeed a fruit.
Oh.
Yes, tomato logic. It has seeds. New Japan wrestler Tai Chi. His ring gear gets smaller every year, revealing more of himself to the world. My question, what is the appropriate trunks to butt cheek ratio for ring gear?
I personally prefer my butt cheeks to be covered, so I'm full coverage.
Alright, full coverage. And the last question, the main event, the thing everybody wants to know. Have you ever had a conversation with a stranger in a supermarket about Darby Allin?
Nope.
And that's the correct answer. And that will conclude this interview. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this with me.
Yeah, of course. This was really, really fun.
And once again, where can we find all things Jade Blackwell on social media?
You can find any upcoming matches for me on Zawa Live. Check out some of my friends. You can follow me on Instagram at Jade Blackwell 03, Twitter at Jade Blackwell 03, and I have a Facebook account. And promotions you can see me at are Zawa Live, Homegrown Wrestling, and Fourth Wall Wrestling in Wisconsin.
And you don't have to type it into your Google machine. All of the links to all her social media will be in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox. Simply click the link. A new tab will appear on whatever device you are on. You have no excuse. Give her a damn follow. Of course, thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, both on YouTube and Castbox. This was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us tomorrow as we interview Jessica Black. Join us on the 20th as we interview Angel Blue, and then on the 27th, Katrina Creed. And join us every Tuesday and Wednesday for new incredible interviews. Follow the show at Wrestling with E, both on X, Instagram, and Thread, for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. Follow me personally at JamesJ993. Alright, Jade, when I say wrestling with, you say entertainment, okay?
Alrighty.
For our special guest, Jade Blackwell, Coleco Yacht, Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with
Entertainment.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.